Some things we learn in language arts are grammar, spelling, cursive, and concepts in our lock and key books. In grammar, we learn about nouns, pronouns, possessive nouns, and adverbs. In spelling, we started with writing our homework in our composition book to typing it on the computer. We got cursive packets to practice writing cursive.
We needed to learn to write at least our name in cursive so we could sign our name. In our logbooks and our key books, we did vocabulary words, we read stories with partners, and we answered questions about the stories we read. In our language arts composition books, we learned cause and effect, key parts of a sentence, and figurative language. We did reports about a machine, a career that we wanted to have, and one of our passions. My favorite part of language arts was learning cursive.
Some things we learn in math are multiplication, perimeter, area, and fractions. For example, we had to memorize multiplication facts. We had time tests to see if we could complete 25 problems in 1 minute. Also, we learned about perimeter and area. Perimeter is another name for the total distance around the shape.
We learned to see the word rim in the words to help us remember. Area is the amount of surface an item covers. Last, we learned about fractions. We learned how to add fractions on a number line. Also, we learned different ways to read fractions. For example, 1/2 can be read as 1 divided by 2 or 1/2. My favorite part of math was taking the time test to pass.
In the PYP unit of Rules and Laws, Create and Maintain Order, we learned a rule is something made by local authorities. A law is something made by the government. If there were no rules and laws, the city would be a disaster. One consequence you might face for breaking a law is going to jail. However, if you follow these rules and laws, you will avoid the consequences. We also learned why rules and laws are important. It is because if people around the city do not follow rules and laws, then people would be robbing banks and stealing things from other people. Rules and laws keep us safe by telling us to drive the speed limit to reduce the risk of car accidents. Another one is to wait for the signal to tell us when to go. My favorite part of this unit was when we learned about the consequences of when we don't follow rules and laws.
In our PYP unit on the needs of community can be met through sustainable actions, we learned about different ways to be sustainable. For example, hydroponics, which is the process of growing plants without soil. We learned that the advantages of hydroponics are that it is sustainable because it uses less water and it does not need any soil. The disadvantages of hydroponics are that it uses electricity and it requires daily monitoring on the level and the pH level. We set up our own hydroponic system using a light, planter, clay pebbles, water level, indicator, pump, and of course plants. Our classroom experimented with adding more nutrients, which made the plants dark green and short. After they grew, we got to taste them.
In our PYP unit on communities, people, and culture change over time, we each researched a different country to learn about our culture. We each were assigned a country from our ethnic background. We learned the country's population, money, and culture. For example, Japan had 71,998,104 people in 1950, but now it is 127.1 million people. The type of money that Japan has is called yen.
Long ago, it was different because there were more bills than coins. For example, the 100 yen coin was 100 yen bill in 1850. The culture in Japan has changed because long ago they did not eat American food. However, there are many McDonald's restaurants in Japan. My favorite part of this unit was studying my country from my ethnic background.
In our PYP unit on Everyone Can See the Same Things in Different Ways, some examples about people seeing the same thing differently are constellations. Long ago, people used to look at stars and tell myths or stories. People's myths about constellations were all different because of their perspectives. One example of a myth that people told was about Orion.
He was a man that would kill wildlife, but Zeus did not like that, so he made Orion a constellation. People from different places tell different myths. Another example of how we see things differently is when two people look at the same picture. One person might see two faces and another might see a cup. My favorite part of this unit was learning about all the constellations.
Simple machines are important because they make work easier. They make you use less force, like an inclined plane. When you push an object up an inclined plane. A pulley helps you pull things that people can't reach, such as when people tried to get water from a well. Humans use wheels and axles because most of the transportations use at least one wheel and axle. Some of the transportations that use wheels and axles are cars, bicycles, airplanes, and trains.
Wedges make you use less force. For example, a knife is a wedge. You use less force when you use a knife because it is sharp and it can cut through things easier than just your hands. Screws make life easier because you can stick two things together, such as pieces of wood. We made a Rube Goldberg machine in the science lab. We had 3 days to finish it, but majority of us didn't finish it, so the other classes finished it. My favorite part of this unit was solving the mousetrap because we got a better idea of how to make a Rube Goldberg machine.
In the PYP unit, lifestyle choices affect your well-being. We learned that we should eat healthy foods, make good choices, and exercise so we have a good future. Some good lifestyle choices are eating healthy food like oranges, grapes, and apples instead of eating unhealthy foods like candy, salty snacks, and cookies. It's good to eat from the 5 different food groups. The 5 different food groups are grain, dairy, protein, vegetable, and fruit. Grains are bread and rice. Dairy are cheese and yogurt. Protein can be found in fish, egg, and meat. These make you healthy if you eat the right amount. Having a peace of mind means that you are balanced spiritually, emotionally, socially, and physically.
My favorite part of this unit was learning about making good choices like eating healthy and exercising. Making good choices are if somebody asks you, do you want to study math or play video game? If you say, I'm going to study math, you are making a good choice. It's important to make good choices in your life so we can have a happy, healthy life.
This year in F2, we ran a classroom academy. In a classroom academy, we got money when we did our jobs. The classroom jobs were lunch leaders, morning leaders, close leaders, reporting leaders, organizing leaders, and cleaning leaders. We also got money when we got a bonus. We got bonus when we did our homework with MPs and MEs. We did an auction in the classroom. In the auction, we bid for prizes.
We used a bank log to keep track of our money. Deposit means adding the money you earned. Withdraw means to take out or subtract money. We had to fill out the bank log so we could keep track of our money, to pay desk rent on Mondays or pay for the items at the auction. We learned how to save by not buying anything so we can pay for desk rent. My favorite part was the last auction where I got a mustache and a red necklace.
Art. Art is enjoyable and wonderful. Art is special in different ways. Art is special because lots of people enjoy it and nothing else in the world is like art. In art, we learn about lines. Some types of lines are horizontal and vertical. Other things we learned is how to measure art. We measure art by using our thumbs. Textures is how something feels. Value is lightness or darkness of tones or colors. We also learned how to draw certain animals and plants. Space in art refers to the distance or area around a piece of art. You can also paint in art. The perspective of art is that it can be fun, hard, easy, or frustrating. My favorite part was making jewelry holders for our moms.
In music, we learned to dance hula to many songs. We also learned how to sing in different languages. We learned to sing and dance to the song from the movie Moana in Hawaiian language, which is also called Hawaraga. One time we even got to sing it in English. It was fun because we got to go anywhere in the room to dance.
We couldn't copy each other because girls had to do different hand motions than the boys. The last thing we did was learn what the Hawaiian words meant in this song. Hawaiian words took time to practice because it is a different language. My favorite part of music was dancing to the song How Far I'll Go.
Some of the activities that we did in PE are soccer, scooter boards, hockey, basketball, and tennis. When we were playing hockey, we had to get the hockey puck into the goal. We played eraser tag on the scooter boards.
During basketball, we practiced throwing the basketball into the hoop. In soccer, we had to make teams and kick the soccer ball into the goal. When we played tennis, we had to bounce the tennis ball on the racket and hit the tennis ball with the tennis racket. We really enjoyed the games in PE and can't wait to do it again next year in 4th grade.
In Mandarin, we learn how to say the days of the week. For example, Monday is 星期一 and Tuesday is 星期二. Here are some examples of some months. January is 一月 and February is 二月. We also learn to say the colors in Mandarin. Red is 黄色 and orange is 橙色. We also learned some Chinese fruit in Mandarin. Bayberry is 杨梅 and dragon fruit is 火龙果.
We also sang Jingle Bells in Mandarin, and our class got donuts for being the loudest out of the whole school. We also watched some videos about the Dragon Boat Festival and Chinese New Year. The Dragon Boat Festival is when people go on a boat and one person lays down on the front of the boat. That person gets a flag, but you can't let the flag go. On Chinese New Year, people wear red to scare away the dragon. My favorite part of Mandarin was singing Jingle Bells in Mandarin.
We went on many field trips this year. Our first field trip we went to was the state capitol and the governor's office. At the capitol, we learned about the branches. We also saw the governor's office. Our second field trip was to the Kapilani Community College. While we were there, we ate a veggie pizza and we saw the garden that they were growing. We also saw a bin where they put worms and waste, like a pineapple top, a banana peel, a lettuce part where we can't eat it, and newspapers. Also, there was dirt. We also learned from some college students. They taught us parts of the human body, different types of fish, a sled people used long ago, and different types of seaweed.
They also showed us an electric guitar that they created by themselves. Our third field trip we went to was to the Imaginarium. We watched a Magic School Bus video and we went to the lab with different things that was part of science, like a ping pong ball on a hair dryer floating, a fake 3D frog, magnets and tops. There was also a bunch of things that we saw. On our last field trip, we went to the Chinese Cultural Center. We learned about different things Chinese people do, like the Chinese yo-yo, the Chinese hair designing, Chinese Dunkin' pole, and Chinese instruments. We also saw the Chinese lion dance. These are the field trips we went to this school year.